This program is part of the Cosmic Potato Podcast Network. For more shows like this, visit our website at cosmicpotatonetwork.com.
Watching television, watching television. Watching television, watching television. I need all the image, I need all the sound. I know the info right into my mind.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Trial by Pilot. This is the show where we judge an entire series of television and the work of hundreds on one episode. I'm Bill Lynch.
I'm Elizabeth Lynch.
And today we're talking about teenage bounty hunters.
Yeah.
There was some other show on Netflix that just came out that, I don't know, had some well-known actress. I'm blanking out on her name right now. And they were in space, like trying to get back home. And it was like, it looked very dramatic. And I was like, well, we can watch that, or we can watch a show called Teenage Bounty Hunters, where two high school girls become bounty hunters. And I said, this seems like an obvious choice.
Yeah, I'm picking Teenage Bounty Hunters every time.
Had you heard anything about this before I said that we were going to watch it?
No. And honestly, when the name of it, I thought it was like a reality show. Maybe it's just because of Dog the Bounty Hunter.
What would the premise be of this reality show?
Like some fucking jackholes in like Arkansas or something. I don't know. Some place where like there's open carry laws and like, you know, kids have guns. I don't know.
So we start the pilot off with Sterling and her boyfriend in a car making out. She pulls out a condom and he like gets awkward right away. Like, what's that for? Because he's super religious. They both are.
Right.
And so he's saying how they need to save themselves for marriage. And then she pulls out like a bunch of Bible quotes that kind of convince him, but it's more her stripping and,
Right.
you know. So they end up having intercourse.
While reciting the Bible
Yes.
and making it seem like Jesus wants them to bone.
Across the street, her twin sister Blair is giving her boyfriend a hand job. And after that's done with, she asks him what was his favorite part. And he says, the end. And she goes, oh yeah, like where I used my other hand and did like that twisty thing. He's like, no, I mean like, you know, like the end, like.
But then she's like, so did you like it better than like when you use your own hand? And he was like, well, no.
But it's
like,
cooler.
Because you got tits and stuff. I was just like, fucking teenage boys. Why does anyone waste their time on teenage boys? But teenage girls don't have any other choice. It's just like what they've got.
Yeah, man.
Oh my God, this is a total non sequitur, but when we were in LBI a few weeks ago and we were like waiting in line for ice cream, there were like these local, like I think they were like just like some teenage locals that lived there, and they were just sitting, they were like, I don't know, like 5 or 6 like, guys. They had to be like 15 or 16 years old, and they were like talking to each other and like just being stupid, and I was like sort of like people watching and overhearing it. But and like one kid's walking around with no shoes on, and I just thought to myself, this is who teenage girls have to hook up with. Like, this is it. And that's what I thought. I was like, that sucks. Like, these guys are so fucking stupid. Anyway.
This
show made me think of that.
Sterling and Blair are driving along, and you know, Blair's saying how she's been with this guy for 3 weeks. That's her longest relationship. So this might be the year where the slutty twin actually has sex. And Sterling reveals she just had actual sex. And so Blair gets like all hysterical and ends up crashing into a car. They both cars spin out. Mm-hmm. And of course they're driving their father's truck. So this is bad news. Blair gets out to curse this guy off, but the guy in the other car pulls out a gun on her. And as he's pointing it at her, he's saying like, you know, I can't believe it was a woman that was following me this whole time. Mm-hmm. Said something about like
chasing me or tracking me or something like
Yeah.
that.
But then as he's pointing the gun at her, Sterling sticks a shotgun up to him.
Because they're dad's hunting truck.
Yes. And so he drops his gun and he's like, I wasn't trying to cut bail. I just had an Invisalign appointment. And another car pulls up. I have to say, I won't even say it for the end. There were a lot of funny lines in this show.
Yeah.
I'm not going to like say the jokes because that's never that funny, but there was a lot of funny stuff.
Yeah.
Another truck pulls up and a bounty hunter gets out, played by Kadeem Hardison, who was Dwayne Wayne in A Different World.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
That was Dwayne?
Yeah.
Oh my
You
God.
didn't recognize him?
No. Hold on. I did not know that.
Yeah.
I fucking loved that show.
And so he offers them 20%. And then there's this weird scene between the two sisters where they like turn to talk to each other and you get like super up close wide angles of like their faces, like cutting fast back and forth as they're talking, which I think is supposed to be some weird twin power
They're just like,
where they know what the other one's thinking.
it's not even like they're using like a twin language, like, but it's like they're looking at each other and they know exactly what they're thinking.
Yeah. It was a little weird.
I thought it was kind of cute, but I also have a sister and like we can glance and know what that, not to this extent.
Right.
But like,
It was just a little bit
You know.
jarring because, the show was very silly, but that was like, what?
Yeah.
What is happening? Is this like a magic power?
I thought it was funny.
And then
I can't fucking believe that that's who that is.
then the suspect starts to run and Blair hops on the roof of his car as Sterling shoots out the tires with her shotgun. And so now they want half the money. They want $2,500.
But one of the lines in there is that they're rolling around the grass. It's like, I hope there's no ticks in this grass. I loved that one.
And so, they're talking with, what was it? Bowser was the bounty hunter's name.
Yeah. They're
talking with Bowser and Blair's like, yeah, also, she just had sex today. And he's like, congrats. And they're like, ew. He's like, y'all are weird. And then the next scene, Sterling and Blair are at school at this like super affluent Christian academy.
Yes.
And they're in fellowship class, and Sterling is announced as fellowship leader of her class.
She's feeling super guilty about that.
Yeah, despite this other girl, April, giving this like gag-inducing slideshow all about her like charity work, in quotes,
Right.
that she's done. And yeah, then Sterling's feeling guilty because she just had premarital sex. And she's talking to Blair outside, and Blair's boyfriend bumps into them. Sterling's purse spills out as April is there talking to her. So she leans down to help her, but finds and snatches up the condom wrapper. And she gives like Sterling these like knowing eyes as she turns to walk away and is like asking Blair's boyfriend, like, were you hanging out with these two the other night? He's like, why are you talking to me?
Also, can I just like interject here? What the fuck is an empty condom wrapper gonna do to prove that Sterling had sex? Like, was she gonna like dust it for fingerprints?
Well, she's not going to prove anything. She can just tell people that, which she could have anyway. But like now she knows for sure that she did have premarital
But she's
sex.
like holding it over her head.
I don't know.
It's like dumb. It's like a dumb teenage thing where you think that this thing is such a big deal, and it's like, so you have an empty condom wrapper. Who fucking cares?
Yeah. And so they go to Yogurtopia, where Bowser works.
Yogurtopia.
And they get their money, but then they overhear him on the phone with his bail bondsman, bail bondswoman, bail bondsperson. Mm-hmm. He makes that joke. That's why I don't repeat jokes. And he says something about like, going to the men's parlor where this guy hangs out. And they know where the men's parlor is. So when he tells them that the truck is going to cost like $5,000 to fix, they realize they need more money, and they say like, hey, we can help you with this other job too. And they find out the guy Bowser is after is April's dad.
Mm-hmm. And what they're after him for.
Yes, solicitation and battery.
Yeah.
Basically, he beat up a prostitute that he had hired. And so they go to the men's parlor, and they find out that he's in a room called the humidor. And so they go inside, and it's just this like big shelf of bourbon, this big wall of bourbon. But then like a secret door opens, and you see like a bunch of like old white dudes in the back bullshitting with a Confederate flag hanging up. And you can hear them talking, and you hear April's dad say, like, hey, I didn't actually do anything. My partner did this, and I took the rap for him because his wife is dying. And so, eventually he'll come forward. So they're like, oh, shit, we can't bring him in.
Right.
If he's an innocent guy. And so they lie to Bowser about not being able to find him. Then their parents find out about the truck and tell the girls they need to pay for the repairs or they're going to go to public school. And God forbid. And they go back to Bowser for work, and he says, I know you're not bounty hunters. And they beg him and say they have inside info about the innocence of this guy. And he shows them video surveillance footage of April's dad shirtless at this motel being taken out by police. So he actually did do it. And he's just lying to everyone saying he didn't. He's just covering up. So they try to find out where he is from April, but she just like threatens Sterling again to tell everyone that she's having sex. And says like, oh, my dad took his helicopter somewhere 10 days ago. So you're lying about needing to see him for something. And so they start a fake Instagram account. She takes a picture of Blair like leaning over with like a low cut blouse. And they request him. He accepts, and they find out where his lake house is. And so they go there. He's like there by himself drinking out on the deck, and they basically kick his ass. There's like all these like cute, silly tie-ins with like Blair's lacrosse playing and whatever.
Yeah.
And they tie him up and they bring him down to the station. And then the next scene, they're working at the Yogurtopia, and their parents come in to like check out their new jobs. And then when their parents leave, they go into the back and they're talking with Bowser about their pay and working together. He's like, yeah, I see your potential, but I'm going to set the terms. I'm the guy with 10 years of experience. And there's like yelling and banging on the front door, like, hey, Yelp says you guys don't close until 11 o'clock. So does your voicemail. And he's like, oh shit. All right, come on, put your aprons on. And so they go out to serve yogurt as it zooms in on a woman on Bowser's board that I thought looked like their mom.
Yeah. I think it either looked like their mom or their teacher. And it was hard to tell, but it might have been their mom.
I think it was their mom. So maybe she's wanted for something.
Like what?
I don't know.
Maybe like shoplifting, like a handbag or something.
No, it was like some huge reward. It was like a $90,000 reward or something.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah. No, it was something serious. What did you think of the pilot to Teenage Bounty Hunters?
I loved it. This was fun.
It was so fun.
It's a fun show. I love this show.
I was so pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect, but like I love the chemistry between the two sisters.
Yeah.
And it just didn't take itself too seriously at all.
Yeah.
Funny lines. It had like some really good writing.
The writing was really good.
Yeah.
I mean, there were a bunch of times throughout the show where I literally laughed out loud at the jokes. Like they were really funny.
Yeah.
I thought the chemistry between them was good. I read something like, if you have ever been a teenage girl with a sister close to your age, like you'll get this.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Which like, I don't, but I still thought their chemistry was good.
Yeah.
And I thought, Bowser, the chemistry between all three of them was really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing that like I thought was kind of weird was that weird twin power thing. Which, like, after the first time I got it, I was like, okay, I see what they're doing.
Yeah.
Clearly, this isn't them literally talking to one another. It was just, like, a little bit jarring at first.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's a silly show. Other than that, I don't really have any complaints.
No, I don't either.
It was really just, like, a fun little romp.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see, like, what's their next bounty? Like, what kind of shenanigans are they going to get into?
Yeah. And, they're building up some other things. There's a guy who works at the country club that like Blair was kind of flirting with, even though she has a boyfriend.
He clearly has a crush on her.
Yeah. And there's this thing with their classmate April. There's a couple other classmates and a teacher. So I'm sure there'll be other stuff too. But like the bounty stuff was funny.
And Sterling and her boyfriend keep meeting in like the janitor's closet to have sex, and then they're like super awkward to each other after.
Yeah.
So it's just funny. Brings back some high school memories,
Of bounty hunting?
We're doing it in the janitor's closet.
Yeah, no, I knew what you were going for. Trying to subvert expectations here, Elizabeth. We can't always go for the cheap joke as much as you would like to. Let's talk about Selling Sunset.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
I can.
It seems like you want to continue to watch Teenage Bounty Hunters.
I do.
You do.
I'm thinking when we stop recording tonight, we'll watch it.
It was a little bit long. At least the pilot. The pilot was like 48 minutes.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought this would be like a quick, you know.
Yeah, no, it's not like a
25
20. Yeah. It's a long one.
Well, we'll see.
Which it would make it much easier if this was 22 minutes. I'd be like, oh yeah, sure, of course, we'll get through it at some point.
Oh, are you thinking that you're not going to watch it?
I would like to watch it because it was really fun and I enjoyed it.
Huh.
I just don't know, like, this is 45 minutes, Umbrella Academy is 45 minutes. It's not like a time slot choice. Mm-hmm. This is like really, we would have to prioritize this over a couple other shows.
Right. Well, that's okay. If you keep choosing more shows like Raised by Wolves to watch, then we won't need to like watch more shows. Like we won't accumulate more shows so we can like catch up.
Yeah. That's why we have to watch bad stuff sometimes too.
I know.
we can't watch it all. Yeah, I would like to watch this too. I don't know where it falls on the list. I think I would like to get through season 2 of Umbrella Academy first.
Right. Yeah.
Lovecraft Country.
I know. I don't want to forget about that.
I would like to continue watching that. Gee whiz. Do you think we're ever actually going to finish Battlestar Galactica?
I don't know, man. I really don't know.
Because we watched
We'll
3 or 4 episodes of that. And now it's been at least a couple weeks, maybe a month since we've watched one. It's just too much to watch.
I know.
Shit.
Hey, not that this makes this any easier, but guess what is finally coming to Netflix in October? I'm going to let you guess.
I don't know.
Season 6 of Schitt's Creek.
Oh, as soon as you said season 6.
Yeah. I'm so excited. I was like, when the fuck is this coming out? Because it's always like on trending. And I'm
Yeah.
like, why is this trending? It's not season 6. Like, so I'm always clicking on it. I'm like, ugh.
Well,
I feel like I would have heard
that's
it.
a watch in bed
Yeah.
show. I mean, that's 22-minute episodes.
Yeah.
So we'll bang that out real quick.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about that conflicting. Oh, you know what else is coming out this month, though?
What?
That is going to conflict?
Do tell.
Pen 15. Season 2.
Fuck, I'm so excited.
Your girls are back. And
I'm so excited.
I
I
saw-
love that show.
I got some alert on my phone, like update on progress of season 3 of Sex Ed. But I don't think that's
really?
I don't think that's anywhere on the horizon. Like I think it's probably still a ways off. But it's in production still.
Yeah.
But yeah, Pen 15 I think is like next week or 2 weeks or something.
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
That makes me so happy.
So we could probably watch.
I'm so glad that I finished Selling Sunset in time to now watch these.
So yeah, we could probably watch that and then switch over to Schitt's Creek when that comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good plan. Solid plan.
Thanks. Does Peacock have a mobile app? I'm wondering if they have a mobile app so we can stream it to our other TV. Because I'm really enjoying 30 Rock. We just started rewatching 30 Rock, and it's going very slowly because we watch like 1 episode a week because we haven't been streaming it to our TV, so we don't watch it in bed.
Yeah. Because we only have the one cable box.
Yes.
That's the thing. We have anything else has to be something we can like cast to the TV.
This is relatable banter, right? People really struggle with
Yeah.
this kind of stuff.
Peacock app on Xfinity Flex.
Boom.
What the fuck, man?
Xfinity
What's
Flex.
Xfinity Flex? Do I have that? I don't know.
Well, you have to get HBO Flex on that.
Jesus Christ. So annoying. There's too many things.
Too many things. All right. Do you recommend Teenage Bounty Hunters?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell
Oh my
everyone
God,
to watch
totally.
it.
Do you think it'll get a season 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Why not?
Yeah, I haven't seen. I think I read like one thing. It's when we started this podcast, I was really all about like not seeing anything about these shows. It's so fucking hard,
Yeah.
especially because I'm constantly like researching stuff about new shows, about whatever, and like I'm just gonna see headlines and things. So whatever.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. But it seems like people are generally fans so far. People are liking it. Critics, I mean.
Got one right here. Pointing to Bill.
Okay. All right. Anything else? Anything else on Teenage Bounty Hunters? Other shows we're watching?
No, what are you listening to lately?
Oh my God. Weird. Nothing. Because I'm not driving as much, so I barely listen to anything.
Yeah.
My D&D podcast, NADPod, not another D&D podcast. Emily Axford is DMing like a short campaign about... So they took one of the side characters from their really long campaign that just finished, and while the guy Brian, who's the main DM, is like writing the new campaign that'll be really long, his wife Emily is doing the short one where they took the side character and jumped 2 years in the past, and he was like, his name was Mavris the Unschooled, and he was basically like a high school dropout who like slacked off, and so it's him and his 3 boys on spring break. And it's very funny, very funny. So I'm listening to that. I'm listening to like all my regular comedy podcasts. If I Were You, Comedy Bang Bang, No Such Thing as a Fish. Every once in a while, I'll switch it up and turn on a Jenny Lewis album.
Yeah.
That's really the Jenny Lewis. I think it's like the only music I've listened to in a while.
I know it's really hard to get, especially on the line. Like it's really hard to get away from that album. Like
anytime I'm like, all right, I'm gonna listen to some music. I'm like, why would I choose anything but On the Line?
I know.
It's so good.
Well, I've been listening to that sometimes, and then Harry Styles I'll put on. I also finally like made myself sit down and take the time to listen to the new Chicks album and the new Taylor Swift album. So I'm like, okay, I listened to them.
How was the new Taylor Swift album?
I liked it.
Wasn't that the one everyone was going crazy about?
Yeah, because everyone's going crazy about it because no one knew it was coming. She just like dropped it as a surprise.
Right.
But I liked it. It was a little different for her. I thought it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish other mediums could do that as effectively as music.
Yeah, because you can like just like record, and she probably has a fucking recording studio in her house.
Yeah.
And she can just like record it without anyone knowing anything.
Like...
You can't film a movie with nobody knowing anything.
Right. I guess once in a while they'll do it with video games. Like Nintendo will make an announcement like, hey, available today, right now. You can go buy whatever game.
I mean, we could do that with our podcast. We can like do like drop like a surprise episode or something, or do like a surprise one and no one would know.
Oh my God, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
So speaking of music, I just want to mention this since we're just bullshitting. When I was at my buddy's house the other night, one of my friends was saying now, him and his girlfriend made up a game because they had discovered that the song Two Princes by the Spin Doctors had like X number of listens on Spotify.
Okay.
Like some crazy number. They were like, why does this song have so many listens?
Because it's fucking awesome.
And yeah, but it's an old song.
Right.
And so they would play a game where they would name another song and you have to guess, does this have more or less listens than Two Princes? And it was very hard because Two Princes has a lot of songs. And you're like, you try to pick other hit 90 songs and they're much lower.
Right.
Like the second best Spin Doctor song or like the second most listened to Spin Doctor song right now is like not even close.
They have another song.
I don't know.
It's like literally the only one I know.
But it was very funny, and so we listened
so
to we listened to a bunch of 90s, and I think there was like a Hootie song in there and some other stuff. Like you think, okay, Hootie and the Blowfish, whatever their big hits were, Darius Rucker is still a thing. A lot of people are fans.
Right.
They have to be somewhere close, right? No. Two Princes.
Two Princes. That is so funny. We used to love that song growing up, like in our house. Like we listened to that. We had a radio in the kitchen, so in like the morning when we were getting ready for school and stuff, we would always listen to like Z100.
Yeah.
So whatever, it was like always playing, and we would like make up like words for it. It's like, if you want to talk for hours, like that's obviously one of the lines.
Yes.
So we would just like keep going, like riffing on it. One of my favorite was, and if you want to watch Faulty Towers, just go ahead now. Okay. And we would just like go, I don't know, my sisters and my brother would get like a little like punny and silly with each other. So, and then another thing is like back to that kitchen radio, something would come on the radio and my dad would look at us and he'd be like, is this Hootie?
Oh, I remember
like
that.
A running joke that like my dad thought everything was Hootie.
Was he ever in on the joke?
Yes, he was.
Eventually he was, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we made fun of him really quickly about it.
Yeah. All right, everybody, it's time for your favorite segment. We're just a couple of dopes who watch TV, but there's also important stuff happening in the world. Be sure to follow the hashtag WJCDWWTVBTAISHW. Elizabeth, take it away.
I love how much you really like.
I want to get so
Just
good at
lean
that
into
that I
that.
just fucking zip through it.
Oh, you're going to...
No reading it, just no pauses, just hashtag WJCDWWTVBTAISHW.
Wow.
Pretty close.
Pretty close, but nobody else knows what you're saying.
Yeah.
You can repeat it back. But
Anywho.
this week we are highlighting the Moving Arts Theater Company. And their mission is they're committed to creating, producing, and promoting adventurous theatrical new work by diverse Los Angeles artists for diverse audiences. And this highlight is in honor of our friend who just passed away. And then in lieu of flowers, this is where the family was asking for donations to be made because Megan had a passion for theater, as does her husband and her daughters. And she's someone who, sparked that love of theater in me. And she's someone who created every part of theater for, from when she was acting to designing sets, costumes, directing, everything. And she, created art pretty much as long as she could. So this is in honor of Megan. We miss you and we love you. And the website is movingarts.org.
Great. Thanks, Elizabeth. Any other thoughts on Teenage Bounty Hunters before we sign off?
I just liked it a lot.
But is it too late now to go watch an episode?
No.
All right, then we better sign off quick.
All right.
If you have suggestions on shows for us to watch, you can email us at trybypilot@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at trybypilot. And please go on to Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, subscribe to the show, leave a review, and tell a friend.
And thank you to the Beats for providing our theme music.
Thank you, Beats.
Beats.
Bye.
Bye.
Watching television, watching television. Watching television, watching